a pledge to enhance social mobility and broaden the definitions of success, as well as building a vibrant economy and strengthening support for Singaporeans. Prime Minister Lawrence Wong laid out his commitment to citizens as he and his team begin a new term in government. Addressing MPs during the debate on the President's address, Mr. Wong said his team will strive to create more fulfilling lives for the next generation and to continue the miracle of the Singapore story that was played out over the last 6 decades. Now, PM Wong has called for a move away from a version of meritocracy that's based only on grades to one that is broader and more inclusive. This includes reducing the stakes of single exams and professionalizing trades that are traditionally considered blue-collar work. Jeraldine with more.
We must ask ourselves, what kind of Singapore are we building? What kind of future do we want? How do we ensure better lives for our children and grandchildren?
These questions weighing on Prime Minister Lawrence Wong's mind as he and his team begin a new term of government amid stronger headwinds and a more unpredictable external environment. Around the world, Mr. Wong says youths are reporting higher levels of anxiety about their future, and they're responding in different ways, from lying flat and quiet quitting to not leaving the house.
Here in Singapore, we must do everything we can to defy this global trend. We cannot let our young people down. They are our future. So my team and I make this pledge to our youth and to the generations that follow. We will build Singapore with you in mind. We will strive to create more fulfilling lives for you. And not just for a few among you, but for all of you. We have new ideas and plans to achieve this.
Mr. Wong says the government will do more to enhance social mobility and help every Singaporean realise their full potential. This is to avoid the plight of other societies, which have become more divided by class. For example, providing more support for children from disadvantaged backgrounds by enhancing programs such as Kidsstart and Comlink Plus. Reforms in the schools will continue, so students and parents are not stuck in a cycle of running harder to avoid falling behind.
We must break this cycle. So we will do more in this term to reduce the stakes of single exams, to further broaden our definitions of success, and to give every child the chance to discover and develop their strengths, be it in languages, sciences, sports, arts, or technical skills.
But Mr. Wong says employers must also change their mindset and not judge ability only based on narrow academic criteria. This means recognizing that people have different gifts and strengths. The Prime Minister says Singapore will move more towards skills-based hiring and progression and narrow the gaps in how different professions are recognised and rewarded.
So while the government will do our part, the deeper change must come from society. We must move from a narrow meritocracy based solely on grades to a broader and more inclusive one. Steps which we have been making already over the years, but we must continue to move more in this direction. A broader and more inclusive meritocracy that encourages excellence in every field, that values a diversity of abilities and talents, that accords dignity and respect to all forms of work and to the people who carry them out.
He says that's how Singapore can keep social mobility alive, so all citizens can rise on the strength of their contributions and will be respected.
A pledge to build a more vibrant economy and to support Singaporeans at every stage of life, despite an uncertain environment. Prime Minister Lawrence Wong says the government is committed to narrowing inequality in Singapore, and it will continue to innovate in its policies. Jeraldine again with more.
For 6 decades, multinational firms have been a key driver of Singapore's economy, and Prime Minister Lawrence Wong says the country has to keep attracting new investments from these businesses, as well as welcome startups and emerging global firms. But Mr. Wong says not all enterprises will succeed, and trying too hard to shield every company might result in more zombie firms that are propped up artificially.
So we must be prepared for more churn. And we should not only celebrate success stories, but also learn to embrace failures and setbacks. Because it's only through constant experimentation that more innovative companies can emerge. The process will be uncomfortable, even unsettling, but it is necessary to create new value and ultimately to create new and better jobs for Singaporeans. So let me be clear. Our focus must always be on the worker, not the job. Companies may fail, jobs may disappear, but every worker matters, every citizen matters, and no one will be left behind.
Besides businesses, Mr. Wong says the government also needs to offer Singaporeans sufficient assurances to navigate a fast-changing world. This means taking care of their essential needs, such as housing and retirement adequacy.
We are studying what further moves we can make. In particular, we want to help Singaporeans save more during their working lives, so that they have enough to meet their basic retirement needs for life, for a longer life. And for those who, despite their best efforts, cannot build up a sufficient nest egg, we will provide additional support so that every Singaporean can retire with dignity.
A pledge also to continue strengthening safety nets and bring down income inequality in Singapore.
Our Gini coefficient is now at its lowest in more than 2 decades. Previously, the Gini was measured only on income from work. DOS, the Department of Statistics, has since updated the measure to include income from all other sources like rental and investments. The revised Gini coefficient comes out slightly higher. We're talking 0.38 as compared to 0.36 after taxes and transfers. We had expected this, but what matters more is the trend. Even with the revised measure, the Gini continues to move downward. So inequality in Singapore is narrowing, and we are determined to keep it that way.
Mr. Wong says the government will continue to innovate in its social policies so Singaporeans feel assured, supported and confident about the future.
PM Wong also cautioned against racial and religious politicking, urging MPs to reject such tactics and reaffirm their duty to all Singaporeans. He's doubling down on building a we-first society, one rooted in unity, not division. Sabrina Ng reports.
From teachers shaping minds to workers powering Singapore, the PM says success comes with a debt to society. Those who've done well should give back, not just in taxes, but with heart.
We first does not mean suppressing the me. It means the me can only thrive when the we is strong. So we need to embrace our individuality and help everyone be the best possible versions of themselves. At the same time, we have to look out for one another and lift each other up.
PM Wong warned against complacency, citing low youth volunteerism and limited social mixing as signs that Singaporeans risk seeing each other as competitors, not fellow citizens. That's why, PM Wong said, Singapore must create more chances to connect, while urging citizens to step out of their comfort zones and resist identity politics.
We all have multiple identities, and we celebrate these. But we should be clear-eyed about our present realities. In fact, a recent IPS survey showed that amongst some groups of Singaporeans, their religion ranks higher than their Singaporean nationality in determining their self-identity. And that is why race and religion, if exploited, can easily arouse passions and tear apart the very fabric of our society.
PM Wong recalled the close call at May's general election, condemning local and foreign attempts to weaponize race and religion, including an online post by overseas-based teacher Noor Daros, urging voters to choose by race and religion. Mr. Wong said most Singaporeans rejected such calls and voted for what's best for the country, but warned that identity politics could still cause deep divisions.
As elections become more tightly contested, the temptation to play this card will only grow. So we must find ways to guard against this. And we have to see how all of us, as members of this House, can reaffirm our commitment to serve all Singaporeans regardless of race or religion, and forswear the use of race and religious appeals in elections.
PM Wong said true success is a united Singapore where all thrive. He called the Singapore spirit of trust and resilience the nation's heartbeat and said one united people is more than a pledge, it's the cornerstone of independence.
PM Wong warned privileges aren't guaranteed and can be lost if parties fail public trust. He urged MPs to practice serious, honest politics with Singapore's long-term interests in mind.
If any party falls short of the public's high expectation and standards, there will surely be consequences. Privilege given today can easily be taken tomorrow. So let us all conduct our politics with seriousness, with integrity, and with a deep sense of responsibility for the longer-term interests of our nation. And that's how I hope our politics will evolve and our democracy can strengthen over time.
PM Wong stressed the need to engage youths and provide more platforms for their voices to be heard. He highlighted the youth panels launched 2 years ago to tackle issues important to young Singaporeans, with a second round set to begin next year.
So to all young Singaporeans, I say, we will not let you down. We are building Singapore for you and with you. And you too have a part to play. Work with us to secure a brighter future for yourself and your fellow citizens. Do not settle for anything less. The future is not cast in stone. It is something you create. And we need you, our young Singaporeans, to be the authors of this next chapter, to write what must become your Singapore story.
And for more analysis, we're joined by Dr. Teo Kay Kee, who is Senior Research Fellow at the NUS Institute of Policy Studies Social Lab. Dr. Teo, thanks for joining us today. Now, let's start with some of the core themes in PM Wong's speech. We have social mobility, youth aspirations, broadened meritocracy, and also economic competitiveness. Now, these are not new. So why do you think PM Wong has chosen to revisit them in his address today?
Well, this is the start of a new term in Parliament, right? And his government just won the elections recently. So I think it's sort of laying out the priorities for the term ahead, and also really to share with Singaporeans what exactly the government is going to focus on. So these are really things that we have heard of from previous speeches that he has made as well. Because, especially with the Forward SG terms and whatever findings that they have presented, these are all in line, and it does show this consistent messaging that the government is trying to put out in terms of the priorities that they want to tackle in this term of government.
Now, you mentioned earlier, this indicates the priorities that the government has, these themes, right, and how they're going to shape the vision going forward. But how about how tangibly it might shape policy decisions that his government will take over the next 5 years?
So I think there are a few aspects. For example, he mentioned social mobility. One of the areas that was mentioned was also, safety nets. So perhaps social policies in terms of allowing the families from lower income backgrounds to be able to also have a chance to thrive. That's one. Also education in especially in defining the definition of success and also to sort of reduce the stakes for exams, as he has mentioned. Another big aspect would definitely be the economy, because we are facing quite a lot of headwinds upfront, as well as the tariffs and the uncertain economy in global arena. So all these things are very important priorities, and people's employment chances and sustainable employment, as well as job security. These would be things that perhaps would be part of the policy decisions.
Now, PM Wong also said that the trend of inequality in Singapore, that is narrowing, and that the government will continue to innovate in social policies. Does this then suggest a shift to a more left-leaning PAP under his leadership?
I think right now the government is looking at a very different country. So in the past, Singapore was still in developing country status. So there are other challenges to meet. Currently, Singapore is a developed country, so there's a need to really focus on meeting the challenges of the uncertain economy and uncertain global arena ahead, and also to ensure that there's a sustained progress for people, and also to ensure that society doesn't leave anyone behind, to avoid the stratification of society. So these are all aspects that need to be addressed. So things like, social policies, things that allow people to have equal starting lines, that would be something that they would want to look at as well.
Dr. Teo, thank you so much for your insights. That was Dr. Teo K. Kee from the Institute of Policy Studies.